Although Jumia's financial performance showed its situation isn't that bad, and it's in fact getting closer to profitability, the market appeared concerned about the pace and visibility of Jumia's path to profitability. Yet supporters stand behind the African e-commerce platform for the long haul, rallying behind how management pointed out that demand strengthened throughout Q4, driven by improved customer experience and a successful Black Friday campaign, culminating in usage trends accelerating meaningfully, with orders rising 32%, active customers growing by 26%, while GMV reached $279.5 million, a 36% jump year-over-year, a great way to finish off fiscal 2025, as that was its strongest quarter of the year. In particular, Nigeria stood out, with GMV up 50%, while Egypt stabilized and Ivory Coast delivered solid growth. Scale and efficiency are becoming more evident as Jumia reduced fulfillment cost per order by 12%, improved gross margin to 12.2%, and nearly halved its adjusted EBITDA loss to $7.3 million. Cash discipline was, well, disciplined, with just $1.7 million used in operating cash flow during the quarter, compared with $26.5 million a year earlier. Management highlighted better working capital dynamics and a strengthening marketplace flywheel as key drivers. To keep a great pace in the long run, Jumia is doubling down on core physical goods, with secondary cities now comprising around 61% of orders, alongside directing attention to higher quality customer cohorts while pruning lower return activities. Case in point, the decision to exit Algeria, which made up approximately 2% of GMV, reflects a sharper focus on markets with stronger profitability potential. Looking ahead, management echoed confidence in its outlook, targeting adjusted EBITDA break-even and positive cash flow in Q4 2026, with full-year profitability in 2027. For 2026, Jumia guided to 27% to 32% GMV growth, so while the market may generally be cautious on the timing of this, management framed 2026 as a transition year towards sustainable, profitable growth, which supporters tend to agree with. In the bigger picture, digital commerce in Africa is entering a phase of expansion as mobile-first connectivity, fintech platforms, and instant payment systems mature. E-commerce across the continent is forecast to grow from $317 billion in 2024 to over $1 trillion by 2033, underpinned by rapid smartphone adoption. Projected to rise from just over 50% today to more than 80% by 2030, and expanding internet access. While instant payment systems become ever more foundational digital infrastructure, B2C e-commerce remains dominant, centered on everyday retail and essential services. South Africa leads in scale and maturity, followed by Nigeria and Egypt, while infrastructure fragmentation, trust, and payments interoperability continue to shape uneven adoption. Africa's payments ecosystem has leapfrogged directly to mobile and real-time models, embedding financial services into daily life, though liquidity management, settlement speed, and cross-border complexity remain key constraints on scalability. Within this backdrop, Jumia is increasingly viewed as a turnaround beneficiary. After a near collapse that saw its stock fall more than 95% from peak levels at the start of the decade, it's reoriented its model around local execution, affordability, pickup stations, and trust. This makes sense given what was just said about cross-border complexity and uniformity. So it's more sensible to focus on specific localized areas before trying to tackle continent-wide smoothness. CEO Francis Dufay's restructuring really kicked off the need to exit non-core markets, cutting costs, and abandoning unprofitable verticals, resulting in sharply improved unit economics. A network of 1,500-plus pickup points now serves as both a logistics backbone and a competitive moat, helping Jumia defend against cross-border challengers like Temu and Shein. With improving macro conditions and accelerating digital adoption, Jumia is again growing orders and GMV, targeting profitability by 2027 and positioning itself as a potential Mercado Libre of Africa. Payments innovation further strengthens this ecosystem. Africa's Buy Now, Pay Later BNPL market is projected to grow from $5.2 billion in 2025 to $16.8 billion by 2031, driven by e-commerce integration, mobile money, and partnerships involving platforms like Jumia, telcos, and global networks such as MasterCard. Regulatory tightening across Nigeria, Kenya, Egypt, and South Africa is raising barriers to entry, favoring well-capitalized, compliant players, and accelerating consolidation, which could actually work to iron out cross-border inconsistencies in the long term. While that gradually starts, remember, for more on stocks and crypto, follow Ascencore. See you next time.